Oh,
time to load up.
why'd you start recording? I was pre-gaming.
Making you mad already. Go ahead. How the hell's it going, buddy? Welcome back to RMTS. It's
Wait,
been a
tell me how it's going.
long.
I've got G Fuel in my mouth.
It's always the greatest way. Use code Verlicify or code RMTS at checkout. Get your nice 20% off because everything just always goes up. Boys, we love you. We're back. Thank you guys for all of the support. Everything's been absolutely insane, even when life is going crazy and chaotic. You guys are coming back and still coming and hanging out. So it was nice to watch these numbers grow and have some fun. I was just
Yeah,
telling Verlis about the shorts popping off like crazy and how things are
and
changing.
I'm just asking, like, okay, what's working, what isn't? Some things are. I'm just like, I guess me hating everything just opened up. Like, this is what I'm angry about this week. Zach, your topic sucks. Let's talk.
And the bait of you wearing a collar is fucking hilarious. It's like half the fucking comments.
Dude,
Not
bro,
not connecting
imagine
to the
imagine if
topics
we
at
did
all.
this in 2016 when like dislikes didn't hurt and it was all about engagement. Every comment was worth like
Exactly.
5 likes.
Dude, that would be fantastic.
Because like viewer
If
satisfaction is the algorithm right now, and people are dissatisfied with this. But if it was back to controversy and
not even
engagement, that's all
dissatisfied
it is.
because the way shorts work stupidly is
Mm.
percentage watched.
Oh,
So they're like, wait, is that a collar on his neck? And because it's 15, 20 seconds long, they're like, oh, I have to watch this 2 or 3 times to make sure I
and
saw
then
that
it's rolling
correctly.
while they're commenting.
Yeah,
What the fuck's the color?
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
all right. So we're
So
just scamming them. Got it.
no, no, no.
Hmm.
We're not Keemstar level of podcast creation. We don't scam the fans. We just make them question themselves a little bit, and it makes them watch. But
Hmm.
it's awesome. So the big thing, Mario Kart Tour started leaking. I know this is Switch 2 week, so obviously Switch 2 comes out what on Friday, right?
Now, pretty much like 2 hours it
Yeah.
comes out.
Oh, I thought it come. Oh, wait, because it's the fifth, not the. Yep, gotcha.
Hmm.
So have you seen any of the gameplay of Mario Kart?
I
Uh,
didn't know it got unlocked yet because everything I saw was like early switches can't even turn on until like the update goes live. But I imagine they have like a couple hour buffer, so I don't know when it unlocked and then those people auto got it because they already had it. But at least it's not like a 2 week leak; it's 10 hours.
no, I'm pretty happy about that. I think that's
Yeah, I'm
cool
happy with
because it,
that.
it, it builds up the hype a little bit. But I'm not as impressed with what I expected from Mario Kart as a whole.
They did like a lot of tree houses in gameplay though, so I don't know what a human, like what a person would experience now that's different than what they've shown.
It seems like the open world is just a gimmick. It's like there's space in between the racetracks, and that's
Hmm.
kind of like, oh, drive through it. And it's like,
That's what it
oh,
always looked like. But
gotcha.
I like that kind of idea where it's like you're not supposed to play the open world. You just like chill and cruise through the open world. It's probably way better if you get your friends in and then you're just like fucking around. And then like, oh wait, let's race. That's the plan.
And I saw a couple things that like kind of build you into the open world. Where one was like a an X Games track of shy guys who go down the side of a
Hmm.
mountain, and that looked pretty cool. But it's like I know for damn sure 80% of the map is not going to be Shy Guy X Games going down the side of the mountain. So it's going to be like how much of this world actually is filled out,
I thought it was
which
also
is
just like you get to play the race outside of the race, so it's like, oh, there's a shortcut. Now, in 3 minutes after launch, that's going to be solved and have a million guides. But if you're a kid, that must be like the craziest thing ever, discovering things for yourself in the open world. So I
yeah,
think it's
it's
just kind of like content there, and then it immediately loses its gimmick because it gets solved in 5 seconds.
exactly. I don't see it as like a Forza or a GTA where the open worldness of like driving around and fucking about is actually going to be fun. It's going to be driving around and oh, I want to be the dolphin character and go through the water because that's funny. And after you make the short and get the million views that you're going to get for the first person to do it, then all of a sudden
Hmm.
the humor is gone.
Yeah, like that
So
first Easter egg. That's the only thing it exists for.
yeah, exactly. And it's just it seems like they didn't fill those out. Like from the few clips that I've watched like 10 minutes worth of gameplay, and just seems like it's open, which
But
is
also, you
kind of
gotta
fair.
imagine, like, everyone sucks at video games these days, so the
Oh,
weirdos that are
absolutely.
getting a hold of it early don't even, like, they're bad at Mario Kart, so they don't even know how to unlock that experience, I would imagine. Like, without hacking, like, the Nintendo Switch 2 looks unhackable, which is nice. So without hacking, they're fucking lost. They have no content. They can't do anything.
The shitty thing is like I legitimately don't even know if it's unhackable or the consoles that they shipped out genuinely have problems Because I've heard unhackable things where it's like, okay, if you plug in things that are not first party, it fucks up. I could see where that would be a brickable thing where it would make sense for that to happen. But I've also heard that people touching the card while it's playing shorts it out and bricks it. And it's like, that should not be happening. That's a problem.
Yeah, and the problem is also like what's just BS and what's actually real. Because like,
Exactly.
if it's not updating and you're fucking fiddling with the card that doesn't work because the switch is still locked, then you deserve a brick, I guess. I don't know. And then like, is that also going to be like version 1.001 and that's already fixed?
Exactly. That's my point is like, we don't know if this is warranty problems of like
Mm-hmm.
the first consoles in every single generation are shit. Let's be 110% honest. All of them
Except
are
for the
ass.
Switch because that was the hackable one that's worth more money.
Oh, absolutely. But wasn't that like the first couple of years, not even like the first like
No, it was only
just the
like
first
the
step?
launch console. Like it was like the first
Oh.
10 or 20 million maybe.
But like it's just stupidity. I could completely understand where this could be a problem or it could be features. And it's just like I don't know which one it is yet. They're still telling people not to pull the plastic off the fucking screen because people are dipshits. They see plastic
Or
on their
like I
TV
don't
screen and they're like,
understand
peel.
how like people mangle their shit so much. Where it's like, if you just place your Switch normally in the dock, you're not going to tear up your screen. And then people look like they've just fed their Nintendo Switches and their phones to their dogs, and it's like, how? I'm just like dropping it once and maybe cracking it on the sidewalk, but like, there's people that like do this serially throughout their life, and like everything they own just looks chewed up and mangled.
The only problem that I've ever had with a Switch was my kids. The first one that we had, we allowed my kids to pick it
It's
up and
also
play it
made
and
for
put it in the
kids, so
dock
like if
and
your kid
stuff
isn't
and stuff like
destroying it,
that.
you're fucking weird.
Like obviously the controllers have stick drift.
Hmm.
Everybody knows the Joy Cons are ass. But the only thing that they fucking broke on it, it wasn't the screen. They broke off the little flappy thing that covers the fucking game card, and they snapped the port. And not like badly, but like to the point where it wouldn't charge consistently. And it's like,
Hmm.
okay, let's just return it to GameStop. I'll send in my ex-wife. She'll buy a brand new one for $20 and we'll be good. Because that's all you had to do when GameStop was awesome. Now GameStop's shit. And gaming is a weird ass fucking situation. But it's like,
Hmm.
dude, if you're able not able to touch the game card, this isn't a kid's gaming system anymore. This is an adult gaming system, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, we'll see how that develops.
I hope that there's a digital light that comes out. That's what I kind of hope for. Like how they have the digital PS5, the digital Xbox, and everything else.
Yeah.
Just make one without the cards and just make it a complete digital system.
I'm just thinking about like all the weirdness that happened with Pokemon's Scarlet and Violet because they were like the Popeye buggy glitches and the invisible shit and all that weirdness and like giant disfigured characters, but like that never happened to anyone ever after launch. So there's people playing on hacked consoles with pirated versions of the game that weren't like 0 or 1.01. So they were playing like on this completely unstable stuff and then they blamed the game for it, even though like they're playing pirated hacked games early and they're saying the game's bad because it's unstable.
The only
And then those
problem that I
glitches
had
never happened
with
again.
the only problem I had with Scarlet and Violet was the water disappeared when I first loaded in. And it's because like the shaders weren't fucking loaded.
Hmm.
And that was about it. That's the only
Which is like
problem I
the
had
most
the entire
standard
time.
thing for any PC game. Like you go into PC and it's like, oh, everything is like matte flat and doesn't work. Just relaunch. Hey, now it actually registered everything.
Exactly. It's just it's stupidity. It's I don't know how the Switch gets hacked. So let me be
Hmm.
110% honest there. I don't know if it's just, ROM dumps like you would play on a PSP and you could update your console and you could update the games and it would be fine. But it seems like the way the Switch got hacked is very similar to the way the PS3 and the PS4 did, where it was like you couldn't update the firmware and you couldn't update the system. So that way the system was essentially fucked too. So like you had free
Hmm.
games, but you had none of the availability of like being able to do anything with it. It essentially was a brick other than playing the game.
That's also another consideration because like yeah, you can't update your Switch or you're several updates behind. So it's like, oh, this game is made for Switch version 4. You're playing on 2.3 with a 1.0 version of Scarlet and Violet. No wonder nothing functions, and then you blame the games for it. And again, I like never saw any of these glitches replicated by any normal person through normal gameplay ever. You got the one in a million glitch, and that makes the game bad somehow.
And like the one huge complaint I saw about Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield was, oh, look, I saw trees worse than this in Ocarina of Time. It's like, yeah, well, Ocarina of Time's one of the craziest games on Nintendo
Not even that.
64.
It's like that's actually just a lie to call that like
That
worse.
that was my point. Was like,
Hmm
it's stupid. It's stupid.
There's
Why is
also
that your
one
argument?
tree texture, but that made the entire game bad. Yeah, like idiots. That's why I have no faith in anything gaming. Everyone's bad at games and they're stupid about it, and we're going to just pray there's no cheating. But also,
Well, it's
Pokemon's already ruined that with Pokemon Home. It's like Pokemon Champions connected in Pokemon Home. When I just have 20 years of hacked Pokemon coming through, instead of just like making it Nintendo Switch 2, no one else, nothing gets through.
I wonder if they're only going to release Champions on Switch too.
No, it's already confirmed Switch and
Oh, it is
Pokemon Home
confirmed Switch
integration,
one.
and also even like Switch 2 with Pokemon Home, it's already bricked. So it's too little, too late, and Generation 10 is not going to be competitive then. So I don't know. Also, Legend ZA is on Switch 1 and Switch 2, so we still have like another year and a half until we finally get to like experience what non-hacked Pokemon looks like. And all it needed to be was like just not having the Tegra chip. The already exploited known vulnerability chip that's in the Nintendo Switch 1 launch edition. That's all it needed to not have.
Yep. And it's like they checked all the boxes and then failed one. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be interesting to see exactly what happens.
That's
Yeah.
the fear of the Nintendo Switch 2. It seems like they locked it down, but any little stupid thing where it's just like, oh, by the way, a paperclip fell while I was like messing around with it, and it bridged two things, and that just accidentally worked, and now we're in.
Or is now your console bricks and you're running back to Target and being like, "Hey guys,
Mhm.
I I drank my Mountain Dew while I was sitting here trying to wait for Scarlet and Violet to open, and now my entire Switch isn't working."
Yeah. I would rather have it that like because I'm so anti-hacking. I'd rather have it to where like if fiddling with the cartridge bricks the entire system. If that makes it unhackable, I'm down with that trade.
Oh, I think that when you have problems with like that, you're going to have more bricked systems with kids and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm down with that. Because then there's
You
no
just got to
hacking,
be
or at
ready
least it
for it.
takes 100 times longer if you get one attempt, and that's 2 weeks to send out your Switch and get it back, and then Nintendo's eventually going to say, "No, fuck you, you're going to court for trying this shit."
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's either going to be a shit show or it's absolutely going to be the greatest launch that they've had. And
Except for
honestly, I
Pokemon,
hope
because
that it's the
Home's already
greatest
bricked
launch.
it.
Yeah. If they add in a new pass, it might fix Pokemon Home too. We'll see.
Hmm
Ricochet's finally working. I watched Tim the Tatman hold a private lobby, and I guess somebody was aimbotting where they just randomly aimed at the ground and could shoot people. And like halfway through the entire lobby, it's like this person was banned by Ricochet. I was like, damn, they're even looking in private lobbies. Dude, if Pokemon did that, they would fix a lot of the shit.
Except they can't, because then Kurt would just update Pika Hex and be like, "This is identical data to a legitimately caught Pokemon." So like, if you hack good, it's impossible to detect or stop. And even if they got rid of like all the bad hacked Pokemon, still unplayable. Also, I still doubt that like Ricochet's work. Like Ricochet's always worked a little bit, so maybe it
Yeah.
just got lucky there. I still think there's no hack detection in COD.
I think honestly,
It's
like
terrible.
if you had to tell the tell the judges what the fuck you built, and they just brought the Pokemon into the fucking game, and it's like, okay, you have no hacked Pokemon. You're at least solidifying the fucking championships. I understand that it's still fucking hacking. You're still fucking about, but at least you're not using hacked shit at the fucking championship. It's stupid. There's so many little answers that they could do to at least legitimize something, and they're just not.
All they have to do is just ban everyone that's already been caught cheating. It's like, okay, we're now allowing Pokemon Showdown. Like you put in your team sheet, we give you the Pokemon, you get to play. But if you cheated before, you lose out on this privilege. Get fucked for Pokemon forever because yeah, now the real people get to have fun. But they won't.
So a little bit of nostalgia dripped for all of us, 90s people as well. So they're now relaunching a remastered version of Mortal Kombat, the first three games or first four games, and releasing that on new next gen consoles, but not updated graphics, just re-releasing them.
That was
Which
in the Nintendo Direct, right?
I don't know. I just saw the
I thought I
trailer
saw like Mortal
released
Kombat
today.
Switch 2 maybe, or I'm just hallucinating.
Maybe there was a trailer today that they were kind of like celebrating the whole arcade cabinets and stuff like that. So they're releasing all of the arcade stuff, but it's like the ones that nobody's been able to play for years is like the PlayStation 2 stuff that you absolutely could have just remastered and everybody would have bought each title for like $40. You know how many people want to go back and play games like Shaolin Monks, which are one of the largest like supported games of like nobody's really heard about. Either people love it or they haven't heard about it at all. And it's just like, dude, that game would blow up now. A couch co-op game that you can play online with your friends and, you know, explore the world. That's fantastic. It's like you failed. You
Hmm.
failed. And then I guess 007, I saw this right before we launched. 007 also has a game comeback as well. So we might have a whole bunch of like 007 Nightfire games coming as well, which would be fucking awesome to go back to that level of like gameplay and shit. An arcadey shooter like that might actually be fun now.
I'm trying to think because like my friend group has just completely fallen apart. That like, oh, there's Nintendo Switch Online like premium where we could just play Mario Party and Super Smash Bros. And all these games that we've been wanting to play the entire time. And then no one got into it, even with base Nintendo Switch Online. I've already complained about this on the show. I can't find a single motherfucker to play Super Mario World with. That's a tragedy.
Yeah, it is.
So
It's fucking
I think
depressing.
Couch Co-op's dead, even with like the game. Like, oh, this is the game we wanted. I've been through 4 of those where it's like, this is what we dreamed of 10 years ago. Where are the homies? They don't exist anymore to do this.
No, and that shit is just weird to me. And like I had that feeling literally about a week ago now. We went to 2 concerts in the past week and shit like that, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But I saw a mosh pit start forming right in front of my kids, and like it wasn't like a kid friendly mosh pit. It was this big fat drunk idiot fucking getting shoved around by 3 other fat drunk idiots. And I have 3 kids with me and my fiance. And I'm like, if I have to fucking swing on somebody, I'm going to swing and fucking hurt somebody. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
going to. So I messaged my brother. I'm like, remind me that if I
Mm-hmm.
ever go to a concert heavier than fucking dad rock, that I'm bringing your dumbass with me because I'm not going to go into a fist fight without somebody else who could drag me out if that's what I have to do. Because oh my fucking god, watching like my 14-year-old daughter or my 12-year-old son get fucking smashed by some fat retard, I'm gonna go to jail. I just
Yeah,
am.
I think the problem is like no one has any understanding of what they're doing anymore because of social media. That like even though mosh pits get violent, they used to at least have like it used to be something that could be participated in. Now it's just a salt pit.
I legitimately saw like a little, like 3 or 4-year-old little girl in a bright pink fucking jacket. And like half of the concert hall was like a lawn like normal. It was
Mm-hmm.
half outside, half indoors. And all the way up until the fence was outside. This little girl was running up to the fence to be able to see the fucking concert. Who the fuck doesn't want to see that shit, especially when you're 3 years old? Seeing fucking lights probably would be cool as hell. And this fucking fat retard just starts pushing people right next to the fucking little kid. It's like, I legitimately will beat your ass if you fall over that kid. I
Mm-hmm.
just will. I'm telling you this right now. Zero problem. In Minecraft, I will do this, and I will do it every time I see it. Because a little kid shouldn't be fucking hurt at her first concert. Like, I'm sorry, you're a jackass. It's just people don't understand what the fuck humanity is at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, exactly. There's just no humanity. Everyone's a narcissist, and they don't know how. They have zero social skills or socialization. Then they go out into the world, and it's just like, wow, they are completely incompetent and just stupid.
It's like people don't understand that a human's on the other side. Regardless of if you're dealing with a negative thing or a positive thing, you don't want to believe that somebody on the other side of the screen is a fucking
Well,
human
we're not
too.
even at the other side of the screen. Like the actual person in front of you is no longer seen as a human. So it's about, well, I don't leave outside, so my experience must be perfect, and I'm going to emulate what I see on the internet, which is this world star bad behavior.
Well, it's fucking insane. You would assume. So this concert was Wage War, which is rather heavy. It's like screaming and normal music all at the same time, and then Breaking Benjamin and Stained. It's like, okay, so you might like have a mosh pit earlier in the day where
Hmm.
Wage War is screaming. That might make sense. Why the fuck are you mosh pitting to fucking Breaking Benjamin while he's sitting there singing with his son? What the fuck is
Hmm.
that? It makes no fucking sense. That's not logical. Yeah, I want to fist fight people to Breaking Benjamin about how somebody's gonna break. Yeah, I'm gonna break your face. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? That's stupid. I swear, people have no fucking common sense anymore. None.
I mean, that just sounds like what my parents said back in the 90s, and the internet has just exposed everyone's an idiot.
It seemed like it took away all of the ability to hide all of it.
Well, that's
And
because now the people that are in their houses, like the people that you would never socialize with because of the insider weirdos that never go outside, well, now you're just seeing them in the online public space, and you're like, wow, everyone's just bafflingly incompetent and
and
narcissistic.
when we were leaving that concert, everybody is so packed together that we were literally having to walk like a penguin
Hmm.
because there was like a bridge going into the concert hall. So there's like 10,000 people trying to shuffle through this fucking bridge. And instead of everybody giving a little bit of space, that way everybody could take a full step, everybody shoved so far up everyone's asshole that we're sitting here like recreating the fucking documentary March of the Penguins. And we're trying to march through to try and figure out exactly where our fucking car is.
Yeah, that doesn't even happen at sporting events. So it's not like, oh, it's just a lot of people trying to leave. It's like, no, this is what happens when everyone is a selfish asshole now.
No, the second concert we went to, which was Avril Lavigne and Simple Plan for my daughter's birthday,
Hmm.
was fantastic. There was more people there and everybody got out faster.
Wow,
I
the
don't
Simple Plan
understand.
audience just ended up being I in the at the end of the day. Who would have guessed?
It's just stupid. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like, oh, because it's all women now we're okay.
Hmm.
It's like, what the fuck, man? It's just it's so weird. But this was the weirder part to me. So obviously, I've talked a lot about my ADHD and depression, the SADs, and falling the fuck apart. And I have been for a little bit because life has been chaotic. Going to these concerts with my kids and watching their face light up and everything else was one of the weirdest. It was like taking a happy pill, and it's just like all of a sudden, even though life is still chaos, it took all of the pain away. It took all the sadness out of the world. It was one of the weirdest fucking things in the world.
That just sounds like life. Congratulations! You finally uncooked your brain to experience dopamine again.
Well, yeah, dopamine's hard to come by, but it's like,
But
you
see,
know,
that's what it's not supposed to be. That's just supposed to be how it is. We're just like, yeah, I work my 9 to 5, but after cracking open enough beers at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. And then you get that family vacation, or you get that one good weekend every 2 months, and then that's the reward.
it was so sweet because as I was saying, like my Breaking Benjamin had his son sitting there singing the songs and playing guitar with him and everything else. And when he called him out and everything else, my son's eyes just lit up because he's been so open about like wanting to stream and wanting to create content and stuff like that. And he's like, that's just like me and my dad. I could be right next to my dad
Yeah, that's
doing
what I
his
mean. That
shit.
I could imagine the light up would be like, that's just like me.
And it was just like, it was so cool watching him connect with the same kind of story of like, oh, I do the same shit with my dad. I play games with him all the time. I have fun. I want to stream. I want to do all this stuff. And it's just like, that's so fucking cool. And then it was funny at the Avril Lavigne concert. Skater Boy came on as like her last song, and my fiance turns around and starts screaming all the lyrics at me. Sorry, girl, but you missed out. Well, tough luck. That boy's mine now. We are more than just good friends, and this is how the story ends. And I'm like, you're such a fucking smartass. You're going to take this recording that I'm recording right now and you're going to post it and tag every single one of my exes in it. It's what you're going to do. And it's going to be hilarious. And I'm going to laugh my ass off when you do it. But it's hilarious that you're doing this right now because you're doing it without thinking. And she just,
That just sounds like the most millennial behavior possible.
yeah, exactly. And it was so cool for it actually to be like the thing again. And it was just
Hmm.
like, it's relaxing. It's nostalgia. It's literally just sitting there hanging out with a whole bunch of fucking dipshits that are about the same mentality as you are. And it's just so much calmer. It's weird. And then come back to the world and everything's still chaos on the internet. And everybody's cheating in Pokemon and life is hell.
Hmm.
So one thing that, might signify everything going back correct is Fortnite season this year, this this month or whatever Fortnite's actual season is the lowest numbers Fortnite's ever recorded.
Hmm.
Like Fortnite has fallen off for some reason in a month that
Bro,
they're
it's like
doing
this.
stuff
Like I
for
said, like May
Star
just
Wars.
doesn't make any sense. Like this May has just been like the slowest May for everyone, everywhere, all the time, everything except shorts, I guess. Like, but everything else is just like everyone's views are low, everyone's engagement is low. Apparently, no one's playing Fortnite, no one's playing games. Like it doesn't track.
Where
I don't
is
know.
everyone?
Where
Like,
is
is
everyone?
everybody all of a sudden being like, oh my God, I can go outside? The Mexican beer flu is no longer a thing.
Nah.
Like, that's the only thing that I can think of. Is like people are finally realizing.
I think the
Doesn't
algorithms just like kidnapped everyone, or maybe we realize it's actually just dead internet, and AI has just moved on to some other niche that we haven't picked up on yet.
I don't know. It's so weird watching the way the world is right now because it feels so disconnected. Like
That's
for so
because
long,
80% of traffic on the internet is fake now, and
no,
everything's
but like
AI scrapers and malicious bots.
for so long, it seemed like you would interact on the internet, and people outside of the internet would have similar mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would. They were just assholes outside. Now it's like the internet is not anything close to what you see when you go to Walmart. Like the fat dipshit who has no idea how to type no longer goes online. They're only at Walmart. Like there's just no connection in between them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody online's jacked and a fucking idiot. Everybody who's in real life has no teeth, lives in a fucking mobile home park or in like Repco housing, and absolutely has no life either. It's
Yeah.
just like there's no connection in between the two halves of the world anymore.
Exactly. Well, I live in Seattle. Everyone is an immigrant that refuses to assimilate now, and I'm not allowed to say anything about it.
Yeah, what happened to being fucking a melting pot of cheese? Now we're fucking tossed salad.
No one speaks English. They're just leaving their dog poop bags everywhere in the neighborhood. And then I watched the transition happen when we heard about these H-1B programs and all these like staffing agencies for immigrants and stuff pre-COVID. And there's also numbers where it's like 90% of COVID recovery jobs went to non-native citizens. And it's like, oh, no wonder everyone still feels unemployed because no Americans got their jobs back. Pre-2020, it was, like 70% white people at the McDonald's, 30% Hispanic or something. Now it's 100% Hispanic at every fast food place here. It's like, huh, cool. Everyone lost their jobs. One manager comes in, they only hire themselves. Same thing with Indians, and we're not allowed to say that, but now it's impossible to communicate what they want because they don't even speak English and they don't want to be a part of this culture. So they don't even look you in the eye if you're white, and they treat you like shit. It's like, oh, that's just my entire town now.
Yeah, I actually had a really, really bad fucking experience with that shit the other day. Probably like a month or two ago. I don't remember if I talked about it. Did I talk about the time I went to Popeyes here? Did
It
we have that
sounds slightly
conversation?
familiar, but I don't remember the exact details.
I went to Popeyes and I ordered like $70 worth of food because Popeyes, for some reason, although it's not the greatest fucking food in the world, fucking expensive.
Same thing happened with KFC. Like you used to get a famous bowl combo for like $5-6. That's a meal, and now it's 15. Yeah,
But
and that's another thing that happened after COVID. All the food tastes worse and tastes worse is 3 times more expensive because our supply chain's fucked and it's all coming from China.
yeah, it's just bad. But this entire fucking Popeyes was run by a whole bunch of Indians. Now, I don't care. I'm just calling out the stereotype of what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
But the first Indian lady was probably like 19 years old. And I swipe my card and it doesn't work. I'm like, okay, I'll try it again. I'll tap it this time instead of fucking chip it because obviously the card's not fucking working or your card reader's having a problem. Let me tap it. Let's see if that works. I think she was canceling it. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what was happening. She was just canceling it every time I
Definitely.
was going through. When you order $70 worth of food, I don't think those lazy
They
motherfuckers
don't
want
want
to
to make
work
it.
that hard. They
No.
don't want to do that. So I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, did I pause my card on my fucking app? Is that what's going on? Like, the only reason that this could not be going through is my fault. I'm apologizing. Like
The bank's
that's
like, wait a second, $70 Popeyes out of nowhere?
oh,
Gotta stop
in
that.
his Zach eats fucking all the craziest food. Any restaurant that's in a circle of like 50 miles, Zach definitely wouldn't go there. That's
Mhm.
stupid. Zach's spending $70 on a family dinner. That's stupid. No, there's no fucking way. But I was just being, hyper aware and understanding. I take out the credit card version of my bank card. Maybe it's just the debit one, right? Same exact error happens. Same one. Because the fucking dumb bitch doesn't understand how to work a fucking cash register, or she's canceling it. So she calls over this old lady who's like 55 and wearing a turban and Indian. She runs over. Hello, let me type in card number, please. So she cancels the entire fucking order because she presses the wrong button. So I have to reorder the entire thing and stand there like a jackass for fucking 10 minutes. And then she types in the card number. And she's like, sorry, sir, it doesn't work. I'm like, this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're retarded. I think that's what the problem is your combined IQ isn't even close to 80. So I walk outside. I'm like, I know the card works. I opened my bank account to make sure that my card wasn't paused, my card wasn't frozen,
Or
and
that
I
they
still
didn't
had
just
funds.
charge you 50 times and then not give you any
Exactly.
food. Because apparently
Exactly.
they probably put skimmers on their things. That's the big problem. You can't go into 7-Eleven anymore because the people running the store are putting skimmers on their own cards now. That's cool.
So I was like, fuck this. I go on the app. Not the
Exactly.
app,
Well,
the
yeah.
web
Now
browser.
it's like I'm just going to order the same exact thing online with the same exact card, so it automatically does the system they don't know how to work.
Didn't only do that, I used like 5 fucking coupons that were available to me because I ordered online instead of in store.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I took that
$10 off,
$70.
$35 order. Let's go.
Yeah, I went from a $75 order worth of Popeyes to getting 40, I think it was like $55, and I got 4 extra things,
Mm-hmm.
including 20 or 12 wings. I'm like, fuck you, Indian bitches. So my fiance walks in there. She's like, yeah, I'm here for my food. And then she taps her card to get a drink because I forgot to order a drink. And it fucking works. And I'm like, legitimately, the bitch was fucking canceling it. That's what was going on. The Indian bitch did not want to make the chicken nuggets. And that's exactly what it was. And it's just like, what the fuck? Where did any of that go?
Yeah, like you just can't function anywhere anymore. And like even then, like Uber used to be a pleasant-ish experience where like you go in, conversation happens, but now it's like you go in, you're like, hey, how's it going? Let's go to this place. I'm doing a thing today, errands and whatnot, and it's just, and they just drive. And then
I
sometimes you just get
never,
a 4, and it's like, what did I do to get 4 stars? I didn't slam the door. I just came in, I said hello, and then I sat there in silence for 15 minutes as nothing happened, and then I politely left and thanked them for the ride, and they give me a 4.
Uber to me looks fantastic. I've never been in an Uber because upstate New York is fucking horrible for it. There's no coverage for it. But I've seen like the way some of them work where they're like, okay, do you want to be at a 1 level conversation, a 2 level conversation, or a 3 level
Mm-hmm.
conversation? We don't care. Just tell us. You're just like, that would be fantastic. But I've only been in like white trash fucking cabs that are like run by the local people. And they're like, oh, we don't even carry insurance on our taxi company. We don't run it as a taxi company. It's just giving people rides, but we're going to charge you $20 to go 7 miles.
You get some sketchy New York
Yeah.
ran thing, yeah.
Not even a yellow cab. Like you got to
Mm-hmm.
call a home just to make sure that they fucking come and deliver you to fucking Walmart because you're fucking 17 and don't have a car because you had a baby at 16. Like shit was bad, but it's like I've never had a good taxi experience. I don't think I want any taxi experience. It sounds just like shit.
Mm-hmm. Only time I used a taxi when I went to like a Twitch party after PAX, and I was like, it's 2 a.m. in Seattle, downtown Seattle, on 2nd Street, so I gotta cross McStabby's if I want to get home. No, thank you. I'm actually going to get a cab because I don't even trust Ubers at this time in this place, and I had a good experience. I was like, oh, the Seattle cab driver union has it dialed in for people like me. And that was like my only cab experience and it was all right. I'm like, wow, this is better than Uber now because they have to step up their game. Capitalism works, yay.
Yeah. That to me made so much sense of like Uber and Lyft and everything else competing with Yellow Cab and both
Mm-hmm.
of them making each other better. That would have been great if they didn't block Uber and Lyft from coming into New York until like 2019.
Yeah.
It's just like
Because then the
that's
cab unions are
stupid.
like, well, we don't have any competition, so we can still treat you like shit and overcharge.
It's like maybe I want to know that I'm not getting into the cash cab. Have you ever thought about that? Like, I know that shows reality. I know they handpick the people before. Like, there's no way in hell they just randomly draw people off the side of a New York street. Imagine that, like, we're seeing this shit on YouTube now. Imagine the random dipshits you could find on the side of a New York street and be like, yeah, get in.
That's what
They're,
Evercab's already doing.
yeah.
I
But,
thought Cash
for
Cab Dude
cash
was a
cab, they weren't
legitimate
doing it.
cab driver, so before that, he was just picking random drunk people off the street.
I want, I wonder how real that show is. I don't think it's real. I think it's completely fake.
It's interesting to think about because, like, yeah, everything's fake. The entire History Channel is fake. Every sitcom, quote unquote, reality show was fake.
Yeah, I was right.
I want there to be enough magic in the world where it's like Cash Cab's 50% real, please.
Okay, so Cash Cab appeared to be a real taxi. The money exchange on the show was not real. The situations were not spontaneous. They chose the people beforehand. The show was involved in a vetting process, and the passengers were not always unsuspecting. So they absolutely picked the people beforehand.
Not always, but what about the sometimes they were unsuspecting, please?
Like I've seen this one clip of this one New Yorker who's like, "Oh yeah, I saw that dude, stabbed him. Oh yeah, I saw that dude, took his money." And she's like, "Dude, put that guy in the cash cab and he's gonna lose in the first fucking question. Then we have big fucking questions." It's like, but you prove it's real. You have one crazy and all of a sudden it's real.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they don't want to give the crazy the time of day. I wish they did in some reality shows, just let the fucking craziness happen. I think that's why Fish Tank grew the way that it did. Sam Hyde show on the internet.
Mm.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
And then I have a topic that you're going to go on massive rants about. Out of our YouTube and podcast friends, who would be the first to die in the horror movie? Or who would be the funniest death in a horror movie? I have my
Mm,
answer, and I
yeah.
think it's a great one. But
Well, it's like it's just such a wide network of possibility. Like the first one that comes to mind is Taylor, because he's the comic relief guy,
yeah,
so he'd have to have something funny happen.
Taylor reminds me of fucking Velma from fucking Scooby Doo. The second that they get bumped from behind and his glasses fall off, he's gonna say, "Oh my fucking god," and then get stabbed by fucking Stabby McStab, and
I thought
bam,
he'd just go
Taylor's
out
gone.
sarcastically, like, "What are you going to do? Stab me?"
That's a good.
Like,
That's
I think he would be patient zero. He would make everyone realize, like, oh, we're in a real horror situation now, because he wouldn't treat it seriously, and then he would be the first to die.
or he would walk up to them with a fucking hockey stick and swing it at them a couple times and be like, "Ha, gotcha. I was almost pro in hockey. Ha ha." And then they just like throwing knife him to the forehead and it sticks
Mm-hmm.
into his fucking owl eyebrow. No, I thought of these two because it would be the
Yeah, you
interesting
had
two to
time to
me.
think about it. I didn't.
I had about 15 minutes. So the one that to me would be the funniest is always Harley. He's the punniest person that we probably have around us, but he like thinks everything through. So I feel like he'd be sitting there trying to be a fake DJ like he is on Twitch, and then turn around and all of a sudden just like fall face first into the fucking turntable and spin. Or it would be Woods, and he would get stabbed in the thigh with a steak knife and try and sew it up and get sepsis.
You ain't looking so good. We're just like, nah, I took care of it.
What do you think I am, an onion? And then fall over. He would have to quote Woods, but not his Woods, the fucked up Woods after they recast him.
Yeah. Who would be the person that gets bit by the zombie and hides it the longest?
Woody.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
It has to be like he's the dad, so he's gonna have to play it off like nothing is wrong. He's like, "Oh, my back. What's
Hmm.
wrong? Nothing. I am completely okay. Don't ever worry about it." never been bit, never had any problems. I promise I'm okay. Meanwhile, he cannot walk in 3 weeks, and we're like, why the fuck are you in a wheelchair? You just said you're okay. Who would the final girl be? The last person to fucking die, or the person that doesn't?
Hmm.
Because I don't know who that one is.
There's not enough female representation that fits the bill.
Nah, Mint is too much like fucking Velma
Mm-hmm. I
that
mean,
I
like it's
can't
like
think.
it's only Mint, and you can't just
Yep,
auto give it to the one girl.
exactly. No, she's Velma. She gets stabbed in a weird way. But it's like, who would
Yeah,
the
in
final
some kind
person
of like
be?
spaced out autistic way. Yeah.
It has to be Wendigoon. Unless we're talking like Jason X level where like they put on VR headsets and like something happens when they have the VR headset on.
She has no
That's it.
reason to be this upset.
No, she's mad at you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Wendigo, yeah, Wendigo would go both ways, where it's like he's either the one that's like overly planning, and he's just like, oh wait, this is like this theory, and I've covered a similar story to this, and then like he finds the way out, or all of his over planning just gets him killed
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, he's the too smart one that would get everyone out of this, so he has to get off.
exactly. So is it somebody like Aiden from the Lore Lodge?
And
Where
then
he's
that
like,
means
let's just go in
Brandon
the
has to be the
woods.
one that sacrifices himself with like a wall of bullets. Where he's like,
No, see,
get out, I
yeah,
got this, pulls out like 50 gun,
yeah,
and eventually just gets overwhelmed.
exactly. Just at some point. He takes care of half of the zombies in the entire world, but just ends up falling apart at some point.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah, it
then
has
there's
to be
just a
somebody like
click,
Wendigoon.
click, and he's just like, and then just starts boxing him up until he goes down.
Yeah, no, it has to be like Isaiah or like Brandon Buckingham going into like Chicago and being like, dude, I'm here now. It's not here. It
Mm-hmm.
just fucks off. But so Gen Z is trying to cancel things like it always fucking does. But these are the two fucking weirdest, most autistic things I ever seen them say. Why the fuck is this acceptable ever? So they're trying to label these things and cancel them as microaggressions. I hate that fucking term, but that's the only fucking term that I could ever
Millennials
find to
started
use in
that
the
too.
sense
Like
of.
the thing is, we don't hate on millennials enough. Like we put a lot of blame on Gen Z, but millennials are just as bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But these are fucking brain dead. So they are trying to cancel thumbs upping messages because that's passive aggressive and only reading the message and not answering to it, even when you don't have something to say. Or leaving
Hmm.
somebody where you don't message them for hours. That is also passive aggressive and proves that you're
That's just
mad.
fragility getting left on red and then like needing to be validated. So fatherless behavior on that one. The thumbs up one, I'm kind of mixed on because like I always just send thumbs up to everyone, but it depends on the person and it depends on like how your entire like friend thing works because I'm one of those people that says K to everything, but I
I am too.
actually I but if you know me, I sincerely, endearingly mean it. Like if I say K, I actually read, I took in what you said, and I'm expressing my positive in like engagement with that. 99% of people that go K, they're just brushing it off as a K. But the reason why I like K is because of League of Legends. That Gangplank, he eats his oranges and everything's K, and that's a meme that no one knows anymore because it's from like 2011. So I have a League of Legends meme that all of my friends have been involved with, and that's me. I am the Gangplank eating an orange, and it was K. And I'd also do the same on a thumbs up. That I say neat, like again, could come off as really wrong. With just like you go through this whole thing. Like I had this day and this thing happened, this went crazy. And I just go, that's neat. But I actually mean it. That's neat. That's
Yeah,
good. So if
exactly.
you have that positive dog like golden retriever attitude inside of you, then K is fine, thumbs up is fine. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think it should be canceled, but I do think that 90% of people that throw a K or a thumbs up, they're just being an asshole about it. They actually don't mean anything, and
Yeah.
that's giving everyone a bad rap.
To me, your K is my KK. Like I gave you
Mm.
enough energy and attention to say KK. I
See,
got
I
you.
like KK less than K. Where if I see that, I'm like, now you're
Right?
trying too hard when you want to give me like a mid low energy K, but you're faking it by throwing in the extra K. So I
No.
find that less sincere. I find a KK less sincere.
Low energy K is I'm fucking mad at you and I don't want to answer you. But I'm also not enough of a dick to leave you on red.
See, and that's another problem. Like the thumbs up cancels out the being left on red, but they like I it's just entitlement. It's just narcissism where everything you say or respond to like needs a paragraph response
Yeah,
because you're
exactly.
in a fatherless household.
As long as I see that it says that it's red and then I know that you're semi intelligent, I know you
Mm-hmm.
understood what the fuck I said. And if you had a question about it, you would have asked me.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I give. Like, make it so that way people can stop turning off red receipts. All everything. You want to know what should have red receipts? Discord.
Yeah,
Do you know how awesome it would
because
be
that's
if it
like
just said,
businessy compared to just text, where it's just like if you're
yeah,
trying to set something up on Discord, you need to make sure they actually saw it. Especially if they're popular, you don't know if there's 50 messages above you. So did they ignore me, or have they just not made it to my message yet? I need to know.
or what happens if they're just not terminally online this week and they're
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, fuck, I have 50 fucking messages. Let's start going through them 3 weeks later. And it's like, oh, had a business proposal, couldn't listen to it because, fuck. It's just like, what the hell, man?
I think the cancelable microaggression is like hard ghosting. That if you leave someone on read for like 10 messages, then that's on you because you need to say I just don't like you. You need to say like that's when you need to man up because the whole ghosting thing on that regard where it's just like okay, you're letting this person like keep messaging you. You opened up the DMs for some kind of reason, and now you're not reciprocating anything. So you need to say like, I don't like this. I don't engage with this. Or if it's in like a relationship kind of way, it's like, no, I'm actually just not interested in you. Like after like the constant leaving on read, you gotta respond. You gotta do something.
It gets weird at some point. It gets honestly weird at
But
some
a
point.
little bit of on read shouldn't be cancelable. Thumbs up. I think 90% of people are bad with it, but you need to just know. How about this? Know the fucking person you're talking to. That if like it's like, oh, if
Ah,
Zach
yeah.
gives me a K, that's bad, and he's just down on. That's just a dismissive K. But if two of my other friends give me a K, that's good. I need to compartmentalize my friendships.
But like also,
Because what
I'm
you say is
also
okay,
somebody,
bud. I know I'm good with you when you're just like,
yeah.
you got it, buddy. It's like if I get a buddy from Zach, there we go.
Yeah, I am the stereotypical dad. When
Yeah.
I was still working, everybody legitimately called me dad. It's funny. They just looked at me
Well, you
as the
have
dad.
half of your life of experience as one.
Exactly. But it's like, honestly, I'm also somebody you could fucking double text. You know how many people take double texting as fucking rude and dismissive? And it's like, why? I send everything as a fucking clear, concise thought as a fucking message. If you don't like that, guess what? Shut up about it. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
get K's back. That's what you're going to get. You're either going to get the energy and attention that you want, or you're not going to get anything. It's not going to be 15 fucking paragraphs in one text message.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
Also, like, is this actually Gen Z or is this Gen Z and millennials? Because everyone under 40 is terminally online and socially inept, and everyone just hates everyone, but they also don't want to have any accountability because they haven't talked to any of their friends. Because like I keep like reassuring, like if I send like 3 thumbs up to the same person row, I also send them like a little reminder, like I am enthusiastic. These are sincere thumbs up. These are sincere Ks. Please don't bury me in your other 20 friends. That like don't forget that I'm the good one with this. I mean no harm.
Yeah,
Like I'll
exactly.
I will keep affirming. And these people don't affirm with their friends and then they get ghosted and then they don't or they ghost back and then no one's communicating with each other and then everyone's upset, but because of entitlement, boohoo, you're the bad person, not me.
I feel like that's the end of like half the fucking friendships and relationships right now. It's like somebody just not asking if everything's good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like how often, even before the show, it's like, hey, is everything good? How's everything going? Like I understand my life is chaotic right now. So it's not like I'm keeping up with every single person and asking every single day if everybody's good. So every single time I talk to somebody, you good?
Well, we get this automatic on just like the show. Like when the show starts up, you start like, "You good, bud?" And it's like, just good. The show. I'm angry at the world."
Yeah.
And
But
it's
you
like,
know, I
okay, well
genuinely
that
care.
means Verlis is on his normal. All
Yep.
right, it doesn't matter
I
what
know
the
that
response is. It's consistency. I like that.
I know if there's problems with other shit, you're going to talk to me about it. I know if things are great, you want to talk about it in the show. So, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
It's like,
Like,
yeah, if it's good, it's going to be on the show and it's going to come out. And if I'm angry at the world, that's my normal, even if it seems like, oh, bad mood. It's like, no, you understand me enough to know when
yep,
something's good or bad, no matter how I respond. If I say the world's terrible and I'm tired of watching all of these, new car, fresh license plates throwing shit out the window in my neighborhood, I'm blackpilled on the world, but that means I'm observing. I'm still living.
exactly.
I have a
But if
pulse
it's
if I'm able to rant about something, I have a pulse and I'm alive.
if it's shitty life shit, you're like, Zach, pause the fucking episode. I need to fucking rant about this. It's fucking making me angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like we kind of have that understanding with each other where we're able to actually grasp at what the fuck we're talking about. And it's like
And
it
the
doesn't matter
people
if we
that
talk
don't
every
want to
day
cancel the
or like
thumbs up.
once a week. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And it's just like people just genuinely don't understand or don't want to put effort into everything. And then
Yeah,
they're like, where'd you go? It's like, well, you showed me that you didn't care by not putting in the energy and effort. And I put in zero energy and effort because you showed me that you didn't want it. And then everybody's like, fuck it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's like,
yeah.
why? It's stupid.
But
It's fucking
also,
stupid.
like it's just like some self-looping, self-repeating cycle of BS because everyone's antisocial and no one likes each other anymore. And even then, like everyone's going through their own weird struggles, and there's like a 50-50 coin flip that the person that you used to be really good friends with just goes like far left, and you can't talk to them about anything because they just are a commie now. Which is like again, it's half the people I've grown up with just went that direction. The other half are based and they're angry because now everything's ruined from the commies. So no one likes each other anymore. And then it's also weird because everyone's like, "Oh, but I'm the person that always gets left on red, and I'm the one checking in on all my friends. They never ignore me, or they always ignore me." But then like the people that they're typing to, they'll say the same thing about other friends, but then the two that should be connecting aren't connecting because no one wants to be friends anymore. No one has friends because social media has rotted everyone's brains. Or maybe they're all just bad people and they have no self-awareness. Who knows?
It's
I've
okay. I'm sure that every single comment is that we're both retarded incels and we have
mhm.
never talked to anybody.
Yeah, that we're the unsocialized ones.
Meanwhile, I have 3 kids and I'm going to get married for the
Mhm.
second time. And I give relationship and life advice
They're gonna be
for a
like, it's
job.
not easy having friends. You've even said on the show you only have like 3 friends, and then I get upset when my friends don't check on me because I'm the good friend. It's like, whatever, dude. I hate everyone.
It's
You
like
say you
I
hate
want
everyone. Why would I take friendship and relationship advice from you? That's all I
because
want.
I promise you
I've
that
cut out so many friends in like the last 5 years because it's one of those things like, yeah, don't let the toxic things bring you down. If I'm the one checking in on you and you're not reciprocating it back, or you don't want to game or hang out anymore because you've moved on, well, you're not the one nutting up, so I got to do it and be the bad guy, and then I'm just happier for it after a couple months. It's like, oh yeah, there is nothing missing in my life from cutting this person out.
the
I
other
might
thing
actually be happier.
that I think you're probably relatively similar with is if we just fall apart and I'm not mad when everything breaks, my emotions aren't fucking anger because you haven't been next to me for the past 6 months. If you message me and you're like, hey, buddy, what's up? You want to know what my answer is going to be? It's going to be, hey, buddy, what's up? Before you became a fucking co host on the show, it was 3 months here, 3 months there, 6 months. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Yeah.
it is. It's not like I'm expecting all of your attention.
There,
I
there's
remember,
there's also there's like so many weird tiers to friendship as well that people like see Zoomers. They grew up on the phone. They never socialized, so they don't even like understand how to break up different kinds of friendships. They just go, I'm lonely because I've made shitty terminally online decisions that I won't cope with. But like my best friend out here, I see once a year because he's busy being successful. And I'm like, I'd rather have that. I'd rather have a friend that's like fixing his life, getting married, buying a house, and doing all that stuff. If he's too busy for me, but I'll text him every 2 months and be like, hey, can you hang out? Nah, man, I'm doing this. I'll be like, you acknowledge, you responded. You responded to me. I'm happy you did. Good for you, buddy. See you in 8 months. And that's like one of my best friendships. And other people would be like, wow, what a lonely, miserable life. It's like, okay, you're projecting. Cool.
my best friend from elementary school. I reached out to him probably like 6 months ago or so, just because I wanted to see how he was doing. Like I didn't
Hmm.
expect an answer. I was just like, fuck it, let's see what happens. He fucking answers me back. We talk on and off all the time, but I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him since like I was in 8th grade, ninth grade. So like just completely spaced when I was working at the store and everything. I saw him like once or twice when he was working there too, but never really full on conversation because you're working. But my daughter and my son were like, "Hey, Dad, can we get baseball gloves?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, we can get baseball gloves. We can get baseball gloves. I'll even get you the rubber ball so we don't get fucking hurt for the first 15 times you throw it at each other, so we guys can learn. Like, I'll get the stages of balls just so that way, we can have a little bit of fun. I don't know how my shoulder is going to hold up, but we'll have some fun." So baseball gloves for some reason are no longer $20 each. They're like fucking 65,
You gotta go to
$70
Goodwill.
each. So I said, fuck it. We're sitting there trying on baseball gloves and softball gloves in the fucking aisle. And my oldest daughter, like a dipshit, sits her fucking phone down. And not like a normal person where it's sat down like screen up or sat there screen down. She sits it like a fucking book in between the fucking stacks of balls. So it just disappears. And she didn't fucking realize it. I tell her, hey, I'll get the stuff tomorrow whenever we have to go to the store. I have to be out tomorrow anyway. Zero problem. I'm just waiting for a check to deposit so I'm able to buy it. Like, no problem. This is what I'll get you. This is what I'll get my son. This is what I'll get myself. And we'll have some fun tomorrow. We leave, we cash out, everything else. We all get in the car. We drive like 10 miles away. My daughter's like, oh my God, I want to pop up
Honestly,
TikTok.
honestly, you should be proud of your kid that they can go 10 miles without their phone. Like, this is
I was.
actually an accomplishment right now.
No, the nicer thing is she's so decompressed from my fucking ex who absolutely destroyed everything that she actually said that there was a problem. She's like, Dad, I forgot my phone at the store.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
This
I'm sorry. Please don't yell at me. And I'm like, I'm not going
this
to
is
yell.
I just see this as an entirely good thing because like your child is adjusted and they went more than 5 minutes without their phone.
Exactly. Like this story happening a year ago probably happens much worse. So much happier with how everything is. But she looks at me. She's like, hey, Dad, forgot my phone. So my fiance turns around. Nobody's mad. Like everybody's just joking around with her, telling her she's a dipshit. I tell her, I was like, I'll grab your phone. Like, don't even worry about getting out of the car. If I have to hit somebody because they took your fucking iPhone, I don't want you there. Let me hit the person. Let me get your iPhone. I'm following it on fucking iCloud that says find my phone. I'm sitting here refreshing it. You don't got to worry about it. So I walk halfway through the store and I see my fucking elementary school best friend that I haven't seen in like 6 years at all and like 20
That's a
years.
third level of good thing that came out of this.
And it wasn't like, Zach, how's everything going? It was a fist bump, bro hug. Holy shit, Zach, I haven't fucking seen you in forever. I was like, dude, my fucking dipshit of a daughter left her fucking phone in the aisle. And it's just like, well, dude, make sure you find it because fucking people are sketchy around here. If you need something, fucking hit me up on text and I'll be right there. I know where you're at. Don't worry about it. Like, fuck yeah. That's how shit is. It doesn't matter if I saw you yesterday. It doesn't matter if I saw you 10 years ago. I
Yeah,
know
I've
that
got one of
everything
those
is
from
okay.
high school where it's like I've barely interacted. We had like a big catch-up session a while ago, and then just kind of like, all right, we're just on the same page. And the thing about me is nothing changes. Like, you still like Pokemon? Trying everything shit. You still hanging in there on YouTube? Yeah, kind of. Anything changed? No,
Everything shit.
I'm just living on my own. Like I've survived on my own, and that's it. I've existed. And if you know me, then you know I'm the same, and I've existed 10 years.
Exactly. And just like that interaction was just the weirdest thing because it's like, oh, we've talked for like 3, 4 months now, on and off here and there and sporadic. Haven't seen him any of the time that we've been back talking. It's like, oh, randomly, when I had to run back into Walmart, when it wasn't a planned thing, when it wasn't a like, oh, we're going to go shopping or whatever. It was just a Walmart. And I have to go back because my dipshit daughter fucking left her phone in the damn sporting goods aisle. It's just weird how things line up like that. So I walk back to sporting goods again. And I don't know if you've ever used Find My iPhone, but it
No.
is scary fucking directional. Like scary. I don't know if it's like actively pinging the thing to kind of figure out exactly where it is, but it pointed me directly to the aisle. So I'm sitting there spinning in circles because like you're looking for everything, just trying to assess what moved. And you sit there and you're like, oh, turn over here. And I turned around and turned my back to the baseball gloves because I figured maybe she sat it down when she got in the cart or something weird. And it wasn't over there. And it's like, turn around, it's on your left. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck does that, where the fuck does that work? So I turn around, it's literally on the top shelf, standing up like this,
Mhm.
on the fucking shelf. And I'm like, who the fuck sits anything on a fucking store shelf like that? Who the fuck does that? Like, what? What?
I mean, it
Why?
probably kept it from getting stolen. Where like no
Yeah,
one's going to assume anything like that happened like that.
exactly. But it's just like, I sat there for like 5 minutes before I started spinning in circles, moving the gloves because there was like 50 of them on the shelf instead of people putting them back. They were all sitting on the shelf instead of on the hooks. So I'm sitting there moving them around. I'm like, I could have thrown this phone across the store and not even realize it because like it could have been in a glove. I could, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it literally was in the
Exactly like you're
perfect
moving. It's like
place.
behind you, 10 feet.
Blink.
What the
Fuck.
fuck?
It's just like it's such a perfect situation where everything kind of just went exactly right. And it's just like,
Hmm.
that was weird. Things like that don't happen. I was just like, it's good now. It's good now. It's like that was weird.
The weird thing
See,
is that like in the 90s, that just seemed like normal life, and that doesn't happen anymore. Normal shit just doesn't happen anymore.
no, it's weird because it seems like back in the day, every time you would go to Walmart, you would see your best friend. Every time you would go to the store, you would see this person or that person. And it was like 15 fucking people deep that you knew. Now it's like you see one person and it's like, oh my God, that's fucking weird.
That's like a once every 5 year occurrence. Whoa.
Exactly. Normally my head's looking at my toes and I'm just chilling and trying to just relax for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
No, you fucking see people. And it's just like, where the fuck have you been? I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, that's been my whole shtick on this show for the last year and a half. Everything's way too weird.
And I don't know if like my experience of what weird is fucking normal.
That's the scary thing. Where it's just like if everyone should be normal experience is even more rare than yours. That's why
Yeah.
everyone is now just antisocial and narcissistic. It seems.
Like, why is nostalgia weird? Why do you like you see a Zelda thing and you're like, that game was awesome.
Nah,
And it
everyone's
makes you happy
nostalgia
inside.
for the entirety of history. I don't think that's a weird experience.
No, but it's like there's people that don't feel at all. There's people that genuinely don't feel like, going back and experiencing anything again.
That's the scary part. Yeah, and I actually
You know
saw
what
a
I'm
post
saying?
about that where just like I fear for Gen Z because they weren't even conscious when the internet was good back in 2015. Like they just existed on iPads and like YouTube Kids and brain rot and shit, but they'd formed no memories of pre-dead internet. So they haven't ever experienced any real social interaction or good experiences on the internet.
So I found
They
this
have no foundational memories and then they just turn into cretins into their 20s.
I found this weird section of dead fucking brain rot dipshits that are our age. And I was like, wait,
I said millennials are equally to blame.
so if I had to tell you there's dead brain rot dipshits that are our age, what do you think they're brain rotted with?
Communism.
Conspiracy theories. Communism, I absolutely agree, but we already knew
So
those dipshits are
yeah,
there.
that's what I mean. Like, see, I've already blamed all that. Like those guys got cooked. They got indoctrinated. They were patient zero of the new age college indoctrination. Conspiracy theory, I can also see because it's kind of like
Well,
reverse 4chan QAnon stuff where they're just
no,
like,
it's
oh,
it, it's
I,
this one conspiracy theory, and it like
oh,
spreads across
one.
different generations. And I've never heard of this conspiracy theory until I went down this rabbit hole, and I'm gonna keep going down it because I want to keep exploring it, so
All
that way
right.
I can tell you
Well,
guys.
pause because I need to piss, and then we'll come back into the
Okay,
theory. Yeah.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
so to be clear, this is just like one specific conspiracy that is a surprisingly staggering like capture of just broken down millennials.
Like not only millennials, but Gen X as well, like the generation that's before us. And I've never really seen these two generations get along or have the same experiences in life ever.
That scares
Like,
me.
I've never, and the fact that they're saying these things makes it weird.
Okay, let's hear it.
And I'm not saying I believe in this. I'm saying that I found this and it was fucking odd. And I'm going to keep going down the rabbit hole because I want to know what the fuck these idiots are saying. But I found this. So I'm going to explain this, dude, because it's what took me off guard. And I watched the video originally. Normally, when you see a fat black dude with like a gray goatee, you're like, okay, this dude's kind of logical. He might be weird. He might be funny, but he's sort
There's
of
going to be
semi.
some wisdom there.
Exactly. Or it's going to be food, and I like food too. So we're okay here. I like this. And he's like, guys, were you part of the advanced placement classes? Were you part of the top 5% in IQ?
Oh no.
You were in that kindergarten class that had advanced placement randomly up until like fifth, sixth grade? I'm like, fuck, I was. I was. What are you going to tell me? Goateed black man. What are you going to tell me? He's like, you're a fucking superhero. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Meanwhile, this video has 1.4 fucking million views and like 250,000 fucking hearts. I'm like, okay, this is a one-off video, right? This dude's a comedian. No, it's a playlist of 50,000 fucking different things that connect to fucking supposedly 140 IQ people. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Scroll to the next video. He's like, guys, were you in the advanced placement classes? Never broke a bone? Have massive problems with playing video games all the time? Have hearing tests in elementary school? Odd. You were the only one that got tested for hearing, weren't you? Fucking weirdo. Like, wait, I don't really remember any other kid in the class being taken out and tested for hearing. So, yeah, I guess this is kind of weird. Go ahead. He's like, you want to know what you had as a superpower? That's psychic powers. Those hearing tests turned you off. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Does everybody really want to be Superman so badly that they want to believe this black goateed guy who thinks everybody who had an IQ above 140 and was in kindergarten had fucking superpowers? This dude
That
legitimately
tracks with
thinks
everything I know about narcissism online. Yeah.
he's like he legitimately thinks every like advanced placement class is fucking Sky High from Disney Channel. And I was like, what the fuck actually is wrong with people?
That's weird because that goes in the thing I shared with you earlier, where the worst subreddit I've ever found is r/gifted or whatever the Reddit was I sent you.
That was the day before. And like honestly, I was like, okay, maybe Verlis is off target on this. I said it to my fiance. I was like, dude, Verlis
Yeah,
sent me this
r/gifted.
because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the coolest fucking thing ever because it's going to be a whole bunch of weirdos that are just like me and everything else. And then you send me this. I'm like, oh my God, like a specific thing. And like, I was like, oh my God, these fucking idiots. They don't understand what the fuck this is. They don't understand because they're using terms that are symptoms and terms that are things that, these illnesses give you as a fucking term now that all of a sudden, if you have this, you have these symptoms. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's midwits pretending they're special and misusing every diagnosis possible, just everything. And it's like it's I am very smart, but unironically because they think they're gifted.
And it's okay. So the crossover in this Venn diagram, I was going to bring it up, but I know the words are going to be way too small for all of you guys to read. So there's no benefit for me to bring this up.
That's
But I
right,
want to
because like
read,
you can't just do Reddit image and then zoom in anymore. It just
even when you click it, like I'll show you
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, put it
It
up. Like at least let them have something slightly to look at that we can point
yeah.
at.
but like these words are way too small. They just are. So that's what I'm looking at. And I'm going to go back to this. So the short looks pretty at least.
Ah.
The center of this Venn diagram is the most retarded fucking thing I've ever
You
seen in my
can't
life.
use that word, even though it applies
I'm
to them. The video's now hammered. It doesn't work.
okay. So emotional
Say, I
sensitivity.
would say like say inept, say dysfunctional or underdeveloped.
No, no. Interest driven. What person is not interest driven? Oh, I'm not interested in it. You're probably never going to do it again. You know how many people haven't fucking read since second grade? 90% of them. You know how many people have picked up a novel in the past year? Like 5% of the entire fucking world.
Yo, see if we can zoom in on that image. It might work. A little bit.
I'm up to 250%, buddy. It's the same size.
Because I got it to go big on my screen.
This is as far zoomed in as I can get it.
Damn. All right, then.
That was my
Unlucky.
point. Okay, so sensory differences.
Yeah, they need to see how ridiculous this is.
That's
My favorite one is
absolutely.
creative thinking. Creative thinking means you have ADHD, giftedness, and autism. No.
You missed the part. Divergent or creative thinking. They had to add in the movie tie-in as well.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like, but it's also just creative thinking. It doesn't even have to be divergent. Just creativity makes you autistic these days, or have ADHD, or it means you're special little Mr. Smarty Pants.
Executive function difficulties. Do you want to know what the diagnosable thing is for ADHD? Executive function difficulties. It's literally the diagnosis.
Well, also, it's like everyone struggles when they're put into the lead situation on the spot, and they have to take command and be responsible for things. Yeah, people don't like that, but you gotta get through it. Intense curiosity. Curiosity makes you weird now. Dude, I thought fucking South Park buried this, where they just diagnosed all the kids with ADHD, even though it's like, no, they are just normal.
The thing is this shit is growing. It like autism and ADHD is fucking growing. The problem is it's 32% of kids.
You know
So
why?
obviously, there's probably a situation where it's something in the food, something in the water. There's
Oh,
something that
no,
is
you know why?
actually
There's
affecting
actually a
hormones.
why. Cocoa
I know.
melon. Have you
Oh,
seen
that's
that?
definitely part of it.
Like cocoa melon has already literally been directly linked to autism, like development.
So when Josh was a co-host, I actually had that conversation with him because he brought it up as something that his oldest was watching. I was like, the hypercut videos like that, buddy, are never going to be positive. Like, do not do that. Like, it's
Yeah.
going absolutely is good for language, but when they are having the hypercuts, like it's a fucking YouTube video and it's changing fucking frame every 30 seconds, they're not learning how to elongate their attention span. And I've even had that
That's an
conversation.
interesting thought because if you actually watch like old 90s like kid shows, like Nickelodeon Kids at 10 a.m. when it was actually only for babies, they talk so slow and affirming on finding where the cookie is. And that's what a child needs for development, apparently.
Yeah,
You
and
gotta
even if you
slow
watch
down the brain.
the faster ones, like Barney and stuff like that, where there was hypercuts, they didn't change what they were saying. They changed the picture to hold their attention. And it was like every 30, 40 seconds,
Yeah, it would
a
just
frame
be
would
a
change.
new frame, but it's still the same
The same
cadence and the
thing. Yes.
same. Yeah.
Like I had the same conversation with my two older ones who now have phones and everything else and
Hmm.
love TikTok and everything else. They're like, Dad, have struggles going to sleep. Yes, both you guys have ADHD, both of you guys are autistic. Completely understand. But let's look at it without having those diagnoses at all. Let's teach you guys skills on how to fix yourself slightly. Want to know how to fucking do it? Limit your fucking shorts intake, you fucking dipshits. That's literally half the problem. You could drink a 2 liter bottle of soda and fucking go to sleep. Caffeine literally doesn't do anything to you. So let's not think that it's anything chemical. Let's look at your attention span. Start watching fucking Let's Plays, you fucking little weirdos. Stop watching shorts. But literally, you change that, and 50% of your problem goes away.
Now I think you could take away like another 20% by just like having conscientiousness about it. Like, I'm just going to lock out the part that's acting up and you're just going to enforce normality. Because I could let the furry degeneracy win, but I don't have to.
The collar might come out to play, but I tell it
Because like you
no.
see like just all the furries being just like freaks unabashedly, just uncollared, unchained, and I'm just like, or you don't let the intrusive thoughts win and you just realize like what it takes to be normal. And I think that can apply to everyone else. Where just like just think about being normal and enforce that in yourself and you can remove a touch of that autism at least, which is a lot of progress.
Well, to me, I had the weirdest thought, and it was probably like 10 years ago now. Wow, this is fucking weird. Um, no, it was probably like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And my ex-wife was trying to paint my son's nails, and I told her to fucking stop it. Fuck no, you don't do
Yeah, you
that.
don't need to confuse the
Fucking
kid. You
stop
don't
it.
need to fuck them up.
And I looked at her and said, "It's our job to make them likable. Like, is painted nails going to make him unlikable? No, I understand where you're going to come from, but you want to put him in a group of males. You want him to actually have friends that are his age that have the same mindset and are
Mm-hmm.
able to grow together and make him able to be in those situations. You do not want him to be cut off and ostracized from like the other dudes in the situation. So that way he has to have certain mindsets and thought processes as a way to survive. It's our job to make him likable, to make him have friends, to make him into a person that is able to execute the things that he wants to execute, no matter what that is. No matter if that's what he ends up doing in his life later on, that's fine. But you have to give them like the groundwork of actually being a normal human to where
Mm-hmm.
they could execute whatever they want on top of that. But it's not like you're ostracized from society because you have fucking bright blue hair that's shaved on the sides and you have nothing else going on for you. And the only thing that you have as a personality is the flag that you hang behind you, regardless of if that's a country flag or a sexuality flag. Like, have a little bit more of a personality than that. That's a big fucking issue.
Yeah. That is the problem where it's just like, oh, you are nothing except for like the caricature of that thing that you adopted and then never grew out of, or like you refuse to take in anything else. And then like you were just forced into that or whatever, and then like there's no person there. There's no unique individual, and that creates a lot of problems. And like anyone like steering away from that, where it's just like, yeah, or you just let the kid be a kid instead of just like trying to experiment with all kinds of weird things and shake up their brain too much.
Like, don't fucking experiment. Don't fucking experiment. They're a fucking kid. They're not a fucking science experiment.
Yeah. And also like it's just like you also have to like learn negative influence when you stray from the path. That I wanted to be a butterfly when I was like 5 years old for Halloween. And I got to be a butterfly. And you know what? That picture haunted me until I was like 10. Because that was the only thing that my mom and stepdad made fun of me of. And I don't care about that. I wasn't like, I didn't, I was just like, you know what? Being a butterfly was stupid. But these days, that would turn to butterfly, dress, nails, and then that would just be who I am because that got too positively enforced instead of like mocked. And if I really wanted to be a butterfly, I'd ignore it and I'd grow resentful of them and I'd become my damn butterfly. But it was not who I am. It was my own personal experimentation that was not forced upon me. And then I realized that was stupid. I thought butterflies are pretty and I wanted to be a butterfly. No, I am observing the beauty of nature from the outside while not being fucking weird and being a butterfly as a kid, as a male, as a
Exactly.
boy. I'm not
Like,
supposed to be that.
I had those situations that happened twice. So I think that this song was like my comfort when I was like little, like 2, 3 years old. It was some stupid fucking song about Christmas that I think my grandma and my mom sung to me. And it would calm me enough to put me to sleep. Like out, out, like crazy out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be within seconds, just out. I got made fun of until I was like 13 fucking years old for falling asleep to a song that I felt was comforting. And it was just like, okay, it's pretty normal. And then the other thing that I got made fun of for, my cousin, who's like she is essentially, all in all, other than the fact that we came from sisters instead of the same mom, we are brother and sister. She is my sister. She was at my house. She's my daughter's godmother.
Hmm.
She has been very, very close to me. She had a key to my house throughout my entire teenage years and everything else. She was allowed to come over whenever she wanted. She was essentially my older sister. And eighth, ninth grade Zach is like, oh, fuck, this computer has internet. I'm going to go look at some titties because it's titty time. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's going to be up. Time is now. I got to look. So I'm sitting there on the fucking computer in the living room with the windows open. I have no idea why the fuck the window was open. It's 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Why my mom left the windows open? No idea. But I'm sitting there in the living room looking at porn. And I see this fucking laser pointer. And it's up on the wall above the fucking screen. I'm sitting there with my dick out in my hand. And I look up and I'm like, what the fuck?
Is mom going to shoot me?
And I'm just
That's
like,
why I would think. Like
myself.
she drew a bead and I'm about to die.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding my humor. Because at the same time, we were playing 007 and one of the sniper rifles had a fucking laser pointer where you were aiming it. It was the silent sniper rifle, which is the funnier part. But on the silent sniper, where you were aiming, there was a laser pointer. And at the same time, my mom's car was up for repo. So, like, red lights was a fucking problem. So I closed every single fucking window on that computer and then held the power button until it turned off. And then I ran to go get my mom. I'm like, Mom, there's either a sniper outside or somebody's coming to repo the car. We have a big fucking problem. She stumbles out of bed, walks up to the door, and then you see my sister Kayla opening the fucking door. And as she has the keys in the door, struggling because the outside light's not on. So she's sitting there with her razor fucking phone trying to find the fucking keyhole. And she's putting enough pressure on the key because she finally got it in the hole and wanted to turn it. That when my mom opened the door, she like stumbled forward into the fucking doorway. It's like, hi there. So I got called fucking snipe because they said a sniper was coming to get me. It still fucking happens. Just because I was covering up watching fucking porn on the family computer, that that can't happen. Has to be a sniper.
Well, I didn't think I wouldn't expect outside sniper. I think mom's about to kill me.
Oh, my mom didn't have guns. My mom was afraid of guns.
But that would still be my interpretation. Like, where did she get where did she get the sniper with a laser that is now going to kill me? That's my fear.
Yeah. I thought it was funny that I was so quick on my feet that I came up with that story in between walking from the living room to my mom's room. Because I needed to hide the fact that I wanted to see some titties. At 14 years old, I was like, cover this up in my head. We got a big problem. And, it didn't help. It probably made it worse. And nobody knew. That's the part that I didn't understand. Like, nobody actually grasped what was going on at all. Like, I've had conversations with my sister afterwards about it. And she's like, yeah, you were fucking around on the computer. We were fucking around with you. Nobody had any idea.
That's
like
the
screens
surprise.
were horrible
Like,
then.
that's what I thought the laser would mean. The laser is, I see you looking at titties.
No, she legitimately just bought a laser pointer
Yeah,
at Walmart.
she just showed up. She was just like, oh, Zach's going to be up at 2 a.m. playing RuneScape or some shit. So I'm just going to fuck with him. Yeah. Not, oh, I see titties.
No, not.
What a fuck situation. When did she find out you were seeing titties? Is it now on this podcast?
Now on this podcast, yes. See, funny. Fucking hilarious. Dude, if she knew I was looking at titties, she's the smartass that would put the fucking laser pointer on the nipple and just sit there and hold it there until I fucking moved. Because that's what I would have done. That would be fucking hilarious.
I think it's more funny to, like, have it away where it's just like, oh, I'm spotted. Because, like, that's less playful, yeah. Which is, see, on the titties is playful. Above it is like, oh, no. My life is over.
I think when I turned, because it was like facing the wall in the
Mm.
corner and then the window was on this wall, I turned to face the window and I still didn't see anybody for some reason because it was pitch fucking black outside. I think I remember her telling me she turned off the lights to her car before, like a mile down the road, and just rode with no lights. Like, that's fucking dangerous. I'm happy you're safe, but
Yeah.
fuck.
Well, I mean, that's also dangerous
And they
showing
pointed
up
it
to
like
my
at my
place without it.
forehead
Hmm.
just to fuck with me even more, which proves the whole snipe thing absolutely fucking hilarious. But like, just pointed at my forehead and was like,
Yeah, it's
just
like,
leave it
what are
there.
you doing? Why would you point a laser at my forehead unless you're pretending to snipe me? I am correct here. You're wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. So it turned into a big fucking family joke. And the fact that both of us tismtards couldn't go to Walmart without buying something fucking stupid is proven by the next fucking story. We went to Walmart, have no idea what the fuck we were going to get. I think we had to get something specific that my mom asked us to get for dinner. Like part of, like, say we were making chicken noodle soup and we needed the noodles. We didn't end up getting the fucking noodles. We ended up getting 2 2 liters of soda, one for each of us to drink. We walked around the entire store, got a box of Cheez Its, got a hat, and a fucking ShamWow because we wanted to see if it fucking worked, and left.
I've never been that irresponsible in my life.
I was like 14 and she was like
I wasn't
19.
that irresponsible at 10. If I had to go to the store to get something, I got exactly that, and then the change was mine for one candy bar ish. And if I didn't get that, there was hell to pay, so I never went out of line. Even if it was a $2 excess. I'm not fucking around with that. I don't know how you did, but that also just that's the family dynamic. Two goofballs derailed.
No, and it's like she is just as funny as I am. So she plays off of me and it's fucking comical. This one time, so in that apartment, we had a bar in our kitchen that separated like the kitchen, what was supposed to be the dining room, but ended up being the playroom, but had bar stools in it. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way you could sit at the bar. And there was 3 bar stools on one side and one on the other. So it was me at the one that's closest to the wall, then her, and then my ex-wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. And she had the fucking laser pointer that made me get called snipe on our keys. So we're sitting there fucking around having a conversation about something. And she points it at my brain dead fucking ex's ear and says, "Holy shit, look, it's on the wall." My ex says, "What? Where?" And looks at the fucking wall like it went through her fucking head. And everybody made fun of her like she was fucking brain dead for fucking like 3 4 years because she fucking was. But it's like, how the fuck did you think that the laser went through your fucking ear and out the other one? How? And she bought it like it was the answer. It was like, I don't know if you're actually brain dead and thought that it went and pointed on the other side of the wall, or you were just playing it off. But that's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I want to talk more about the stupid people on Reddit.
What stupid people on Reddit? What did you find?
Just go more on R Gifted. I haven't even clicked. Let's do live reaction. What's the top for R Gifted today? Promotion. No caption needed. Oh no. Losing an argument when you're right just because the other person is too stupid to understand what you're saying is probably one of the most infuriating things in the universe.
Something I deal with every day. Shut up.
Yeah, but because they're the gifted people, everyone's stupid but them. That's our personal experience. No one else can relate to.
Okay.
Uh, hmm?
I went top all time and I have a great one.
Oh, I wanted to see what's up today, just to see like the live stupidity, not just smart, also soul, different take on giftedness. Oh, so here's the thing that I wanted to point out at some point, like 15, 20 minutes ago, was like I was wave one gifted, and then in the middle of my run being gifted, that's when they added in talented, because you had to be 130 plus. We were an exclusive club, and then the talented was like, oh, 115 plus now. Let's in the idiots. And then they
Well,
expanded it, and now everyone thinks they're special snowflake.
profoundly gifted is actually like a term that's above 140.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, gifted's 130, profoundly's 140. But you had to be literally gifted. You had to be 130 to get in.
You had to
And
get into that
then they opened
enrichment
it up with
class.
it. Then they opened it up with talent. And it's like, oh, anyone like over 100 that's barely not an idiot is now in or something. I don't know. It got weird with the advanced, and then they just grouped it together as advanced. So now we got these 115 idiots running around thinking they're special.
But that fucking conspiracy theory made me feel like everybody that was in that fucking class is a mental midget that's
Hmm.
trying to like prove themselves as like something special.
And also,
And
oh,
this,
and going back and wait, really quick, going back to all like the overdiagnosis, I do want to know what happened to like the 10-year-olds because there's like 5 million 10-year-olds out there that binged Elsagate. They're not well, guaranteed. No one came out of that
how old
adjusted.
would they be now? That's 17.
Yeah, so like they're 18 now. They're just coming into adulthood.
So this is anybody who's 18 and above. Let's just say it that way.
Yeah.
Let's watch the change in the kinks like we did for Japan with hentai and see what happens.
I didn't think about that, and I don't want to think about that. I don't like that.
Because that's going to be the answer, right?
We're just like, oh god, pregnant is actually just like a mega search now.
Pregnant, tied up, piss. It's going to be like fucking 50 Shades of Grey for like 18 to 20-year-olds.
Dress up. Where like like even though everyone has like their hentai and cosplay stuff, where like dress up
Yeah.
just kind of ticks up a bit more because like they need the cuck in the
Elsa
Spider-Man
and
costume or something.
Elsa and Spider-Man, yeah.
But
So
like I was worried like if Cocomelon's cooking everyone into actually like having developmental disorders, then that means like if you watched 5 straight Elsa videos when you were like 7, it's GG, it's over. And there's
yeah.
millions of that.
And it's like, how many different little things is there? Like, I assume, and this is just like logical to me, that me watching things like the Rugrats kind of pushed me towards the dad personality, right? Like the dudes that had the retarded alcoholic dad that thought their dad was Homer Simpson kind of strayed into that Bart Simpson kind of personality. I would
I didn't have
assume.
that. I don't think
I
that
would.
happened. I think that it was just like such a normal and well portrayed thing that's not like, oh, I become this personality now. It's like, oh no, this is just well written. And I think it was also exposure that I got exposed to that while also being exposed to Rugrats, while also being exposed to Cat Dog and Angry Beavers, and I had a brother, so we were just that. And the
Yeah,
funny
I'm
thing is,
saying
like,
like,
I have the darker hair, my brother has the blonde hair, and the chaos actually lined up, so we got to relate to that. And I didn't take on a trait and be like, I have to act out because my dad's a bumbling idiot. I didn't get any of that. So I
yeah,
think
I
it was
didn't.
just I think it was just like it was actually homogenous. Therefore, you didn't take on an autistic trait.
Yeah, but like, there are total fat little dipshits that act like Cartman that are even in
Well, that's
millennials.
what happens when you're 10 watching South Park. You're not supposed to be 10 watching South Park.
Oh, that's my point. Is like there's going to be people that are sort of well adjusted or kind of like connect to like an ideology or a morality that you're shown, no matter what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But when that becomes so faceted as who you are, that's all you watch or all you consume, that personality will become you. Like you see that with fucking Taylor and Hank Hill. Like, is it completely direct as like that's the only thing he is? No, but it's definitely part of his personality.
Yeah. Like I
You
said,
know what
mine
I'm
was
saying?
homogenous enough to where I didn't get anything imprinted on me except for Pokemon.
No, you are definitely the brain from Pinky and the Brain and the dark-haired beaver from the Angry
Well,
Beavers.
that's what I mean. Like I had the darker hair, and my brother had the blonde hair, and that's why.
I forgot which one was the retarded one. I knew the names, but I knew nobody else would know which one's which. And if I said Norbit, they'd be like, "Which one's that?"
Mm-hmm. Norbit and Daggett.
Yeah. But even if you looked at the pictures of which one's which, you would be like, "Which one's the retarded one?" They look exactly the same. The dark-haired one's the smart one.
No, the blonde one was the smart one.
The blonde-haired one was the retard.
No,
I'm like 80% sure.
no, like Norb. That's the obnoxious name.
Daggett is totally the obnoxious name.
No, Daggett's the chaotic one. He wasn't stupid.
Oh
He was just
no, you are right.
yeah.
Fuck that memory was just completely flipped, and that is the first time I've ever seen that. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for the Angry Beavers is?
Review or audience? like critic
Um,
or audience, or is it
I
actually
think
the
it's
same?
both mixed. No, it is the reviewers.
Where like I feel like reviewers going to be like, this didn't age well, it didn't hold up 60, and then audience score is like nostalgic 83.
You're almost on target with the audience. That's 82. But this blows my fucking mind. The reviewers, 100%.
Oh, so it's the other way around where like they are the overly captured nostalgia ones. I'm a
Well,
90s kid, so therefore Angry Beavers gets
I
100 uncritically.
I might go back and watch Angry Beavers with my kids because
Oh,
it
it's
was a
a
fun
banger. It
fucking
holds
show.
like
Yeah,
dad. That was like
it,
one of the shows dad would watch with us because he fucking loves the Angry Beavers.
oh, it's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious.
So that's what I mean. I didn't know if they were trying to be like edgy, like, oh, I'm doing this for rage bait. It's actually a 60, or if it's a uncritical hundo p greatness.
Oh, dude, 100%. Dude, I might have to go
Hmm.
back.
It probably actually might actually be a 10 out of 10 still. It's been so
Yeah.
long, but it's good. And then you're going to
The
learn
other,
Daggett isn't actually just an idiot. He's just chaotic.
yeah,
Maybe
but
he's a little stupid.
whatchamacallit, I can't believe I flipped them. The other show that I might want to go back and watch with them is Rocket Power. I fucking loved Rocket Power. And it seemed like more
Rocket
of
Power's
like
got good morals. You should have caught them on that
exactly.
earlier.
But the baby might fucking love that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
She might fucking love
And
that
then
shit.
like Rugrats was just good morals too. Kids don't
Oh,
have that these
Rugrats is
days.
fantastic.
Kids don't have that these days. Now 1 in 3 are autistic. Wonder what the correlation is.
But
I actually,
definitely,
I think it's actually less vaccines than it is entertainment. Who would have guessed?
I think so too. And the more that they make these shows with shorter time period in between ads, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah.
Because think of how often those ads are. So now you're changing frames every 30 seconds, and then you have an ad that's 30 seconds long, and then it skips again to
And
another
also, like,
ad.
YouTube Kids and COPA doesn't get properly enforced. So, like, Nickelodeon couldn't fuck you up with ads unless it was actually toys, where it's just like, I go from Angry Beavers to Moon Shoes to the Secrets of the Hidden Temple, or was it Legends? Legends or Secrets of the... I always get those two flipped. Either way, it was Hidden Temple, and then Moon Shoes, and then like Green Ketchup, and then Global Guts, and then Rugrats again. And I'm just a well-adjusted person.
You missed the one commercial that absolutely is the one that sticks out in my head for some fucking reason.
Crossfire?
No,
Well,
Zoo
then you're
Books.
wrong. What? Oh,
Zoo Books. Where it would be like, oh my God, let's learn about giraffes this week. And then it would show all these random fucking pictures of giraffes in a yellow fucking magazine that they show every 6 months because they just cycle through them.
mhm.
And then it would be like, and order now for $13.95 a month, you get 6 zoo books this month. And it's like, this one's gorillas. It's light blue. And it's like, dude, I want the light blue gorillas one.
See,
The
I was never
last time it
interested
was a
in those.
special
So I was just
edition.
like,
I didn't
like
want
this
them
is
either.
stupid educate. I don't advertise school to me when I'm watching Good Guts. Do you have it? Fuck you.
The one that I miss, that I wish that there were more shows like this on TV now, are the things like Legends of the Hidden Temple and Double Dare.
I didn't like Double Dare as much, but it was still like entertaining when it was
Double
on.
Dare 2K was pretty sick.
I watched it. I knew it, and like I was good with it. But like the actual physical ones, like Guts and Legends of Hidden Temple, those were peak.
I liked the, not the lore, but like the experience of what Legends of the Hidden Temple was. It was
Yeah.
essentially like a game show. Like you would play Family Feud,
Hmm.
and if you won the Family Feud game, you had to play through this puzzle that was
Yeah.
like a physical apparatus that you had to work your way
And it
through.
would give you PTSD. That's great too.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like I never wanted to go on that show because if one of those Ooka Booka dudes grabbed me from behind, I'd never be the same again.
The funny thing is like the way to explain it logically is like how the Harry Potter maze at the end of Harry Potter Goblet of Fire should have been.
Hmm.
It's like you work through this room and now you have to do something completely fucking opposite. Oh my God, there's a sphinx in this room and it's singing for some reason. Shut it the fuck up. And then you have to figure that out. And then this room is filling with smoke and it will make you pass out if you don't get out of here soon. And then there's darts randomly thrown at you. And it's like, what the fuck is this? And why is there
Hmm.
kids on it? But
Yeah.
it's like I want to do it now.
The highs and the lows of that show were also crazy because there'd be like one team that did like super great in like the preliminaries and they got to the final thing and then they just both get KO'd in like the first two rooms. And then there'd be like the other one where like someone loses room one and then that second person fucking carries.
And everybody that loses is like the dorky kid that has way too long a hair and
Yeah.
glasses that look
And it
like
was
they're the
usually just
bottom
like
of a
the
cup.
athletic girl that would fucking stomp or again get like abducted and then have PTSD.
But it always looked so fun. Like that show was the start of me wanting to do things like Fear Factor with my cousin and my sister and stuff like that because it was fun. It was, oh, let's do
Mm-hmm.
a backflip off the swing set because that looks like a fun time. If you can't do that, you get an H in horse because you lose.
Yeah.
I was the asshole, brother. I understand, but it was still
So what
fun.
was the all-time gifted one that fucked
Okay.
you?
I
Actually, I
was
can
a
find it myself.
I was a gifted child. Now I'm fucking homeless. Personal story, experience, or rant. I remember when I was a kid, I was pulled out of class because my test scores were incredibly high. You're a fucking liar. That's not how this works. Let me just call you out right there. You're a fucking liar. I don't like liars. They called me to the principal office to talk about my extreme test scores. Once again, you're a fucking liar. The principal almost looked scared of me. This bitch is like 18.
Yeah,
It's an 18
this
year
is a
old girl.
child not understanding how the world works.
Yep, exactly. I had horrible grades in grade school because I knew that it was grade school and that I was fucking
If you have
around
bad grades in
and
grade
that's
school,
what
it's
I was
because
meant
you're
to
an
do.
idiot.
But my test scores were legitimately off the charts in most classes. There literally is no grades that are off the charts. They literally account for bonus points for knuckle draggers. That's what they're there for. I was placed in my school's gifted and talented program.
Oh,
Yep.
see, they're 110 that
You
thinks
said,
they're 150.
yep. You're an NPC, buddy. Where they did boring shit almost every time and forced me to do my least favorite activity, spelling. Look at you.
Also, that's fake too. I was in gifted and we only had one spelling bee a year and I bombed out because that was my worst shit.
I did too, because they didn't fucking tune in the microphone and it was like staticky and they said a fucking word and it sounded like monkey. So I spelt monkey and they're like, sorry, Zach, that's wrong. And I'm like, that's what you said.
Now I got one of those things where like it weather and then I'd use it and be like the weather's nice today and like WH fuck.
Yep. Now, after years of abuse and existential depression, coupled with alcoholism and carrying the weight of my parents' bullshit drama into my own adult life, I get to be homeless
If you're
again.
gifted, then you should be smart enough to break the cycle.
And they thought their silly little program would put minds like mine into fucking engineering or law school or the fucking medical field. Nope, I get to use my magical gifted mind to figure out how to unhomeless myself for the third fucking time. No, dumb little bitch. Let me tell you exactly what your problem is you're not smart. You're dopamine seeking, so you ran to alcoholism. Now you're using your giftedness, which isn't real, and searching for fucking alcohol as a reason that you're homeless and then blaming it on your parents instead of fixing your problem.
Yeah, you haven't applied any of your intelligence to fixing your situation because you want no accountability. You want to blame everyone else when you're just actually an
People
idiot.
people with 110 IQ are perfect for one thing. Middle management. You're
See,
probably great
that's the
at it.
thing. Like the whole like famous quote of like, oh, imagine the average person and realize half of society is dumber than that. It's like 100 ain't great. And 110 is going to be like the peak of Mount Stupid because that's pure Dunning Kruger right there. And then it starts to spread out and some. But like, yeah, if you're below 90, it's over. If you're 100, you might be able to function in society. But if you're 110, you're not smart enough to realize how stupid you are.
Yeah.
And then you get into trouble.
Here's another. It's the fourth post. Found this gem on Instagram. I wish people realized gifted burnout kid isn't wah, people aren't saying I'm smart anymore. It's I've had my entire sense of self-worth propped up on being nebulously intelligent, and now I have to apply real world skills nobody bothered to teach me, and I realized it's easier not to try. That's literally just saying you're a lazy fucking idiot.
I want to
You are
see like where all the comments are like, I agree. No one
like
gets taught these real life skills, not just gifted kids. But that again, you fucked all of your intelligence when you were supposed to develop critical thinking and all this by yourself. See, that's what happened to me, where it's like, oh, even though I'm in these classes, I still made my own budget in high school. I did finances and I cared and I learned like, hey, wait a second, I'm going like these people, despite having gifted intelligence allegedly, they never thought for themselves a single moment. That's why people are like, oh, but it's not fair that I took on $100,000 in debt in high school when I was just doing what I was told. It's like, well, that is, you still need accountability. And if you were actually smart, you would have taken a step back and gone, wait a second, is college right for me? Is it smart to take on a house's worth of debt for something that might not even be sustainable? No, like you're just stupid.
I expected this. All of these comments, like I sorted it by top comments to kind of just find the shit because I expected the first
That's
top
right.
comment to be ass. Surprisingly, guess what? It's not. It's actually a logic answer. And I'm so proud of somebody on Reddit that deleted their account probably because they looked at porn. I think it's a matter of expanding talent pool. Gifted children are first labeled in their local community, their school district, their homeschool program, whatever that is, which is absolutely right. They're because they're standing out as exceptionally smart. They're in the top 0.1% of the brightest students, not anymore, because they're not just labeling things as gifted, it's all the way up to talented, which is
Well, I
110.
mean, even gifted though, like even if it's a class of 15 kids and like out of 700, that's not 0.1%. So you're not
Yeah.
smart enough to do basic math either.
These are the formative years of their lives, so they do weave that label into their identity. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. Then they go to a university, and now their cohort is much larger and of a generally smarter group. Maybe now they're only the top 1% of the brightest students. I think it's probably even higher than that.
Well, no, like it's actually going from like 1% to 8% now instead of 0.1 to 1%.
Yeah, exactly. If they turn into a graduate and go to work at a company that seeks out these bright students, well, now they're in a pool of people who have years now experience, who are very smart and know how to do things already. Imposter syndrome sets in and it cripples them.
Nah, imposter syndrome is the most fake shit ever.
Mm, I don't think it's fake. I think people use it as an answer for everything instead of actually understanding what it is.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's just like one of these buzzword self-diagnosis excuse things where it's like, no, if you actually aren't an NPC and you have consciousness of yourself, then you can sift through it. Like, yeah, you can feel fraudulent some things. That doesn't automatically mean imposter syndrome. It means you are not experienced and you're trying to catch up to where you've overshot into.
Exactly. Like to me, my job was one of those things for like a
Like being
good
like,
year
how
and
the
a
fuck
half.
did I get here isn't imposter syndrome. It's you
But
autopiloted it and now you need to develop.
diagnosable, like how they look at the world now, that is what imposter syndrome is. It's like you fell into something that you absolutely never believed you could have. And all of a sudden, you don't think you're good enough to have this thing and you don't have the skills to do it. So you're trying to fall ass backwards into all of these things that you have absolutely no availability to do. And you're like, oh, fuck, I don't deserve this. And it's
The
like
problem is
either
like
you
you
feel
got
like that
there, so you
always or
need to
never.
just like take 5 seconds and be like, oh wait, I'm actually good enough to do this because I am here. Solved.
Exactly. Exactly. But normally it's, I'm depressed. I don't feel that great. I feel like shit anyway. So then you're falling on your
Well,
ass
also people
backwards
don't
anyway.
want that account like that responsibility when like you turn around like, oh, I'm now a manager. I'm now responsible if something goes wrong. No, never mind, take it back. I don't want it. This isn't me. We're just like, no, now you're just a bitch.
Dude, being
Now
a
you're stupid.
manager at Walmart is probably one of the most brain dead things you fucking can do. You're just signing a fucking number onto a fucking thing that you order shit on. I don't think it's that hard.
Yeah,
The
and then I'm just
people
looking
that
at some of
fucking
these other
complain about
top
everything is
posts.
insane.
Yeah, that's why I call it fake. But it's like, does anyone else feel society is not made for people like them? All right, that's perfect midwit, Mount Stupid right there. Former like, and also that's like so generic. We're just like smart people have harder times interacting with others because they're so above them. It's like if you think that's you, nah. And then like I just kind of experience it in like the passive way of like, oh, I can dunk on everyone when it comes to Pokemon legality because 90% of the internet is idiots. But I don't feel like that means society isn't made for me. It just means people are stupid. And that's the consciousness awakening of intelligence, is just realizing everyone's stupid and being farmed by the algorithms and they don't realize it. And if you don't realize it, you're stupid too.
See, like this, you can completely understand where this comes from. Former gifted child, nothing included. When people ask, what are you supposed to be? You just reply, I was supposed to be a lot of things. Like that, I could actually see a gifted person posting that. Why? Because that's probably what they feel. But you saying that you're a fucking genius and you're homeless now for the third time and you still haven't put your shit together because you're a fucking alcoholic, it sounds like you just have an addiction problem. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Guys, we'll see you fucking next time. Bye.